So Australia continue to make Indians cry once again. Another final, another World Cup, and India has lost by quite a big margin. Hugh Wagan joins Jeff Parker, Cameron White, and Mitchell Marsh, and becomes the fourth Aussie captain to win the Under-19 World Cup. 4 titles for the Australian side, and India definitely not becoming the second team after Pakistan to win back-to-back titles. But again, what we were talking about in the mid-innings show that it's going to be a tough chase from here for the Indians, and the openers must fire, and that's exactly what did not happen for the Indians. Adarsh Singh tried to stick on to the wicket for quite a long time but wasn't able to stay for much longer, and actually started the counter attack later on once he realized that we are 6 wickets down. How do you feel after losing to Australia? One more final.
Get used to it. Get used to it, because if the senior team played with so much cowardliness in the 2023 World Cup final, this team has followed in the path of their. We are all saying, no, the under-19 team are fearless.
No, but they didn't play fearlessly at all. That's the funny part. The only time that Adarsh Singh started to counter attack was when you realized it was a lost cause. The only one who I'd say can walk away from this final with their heads held high is Murugan Abhishek. Because he played a pretty counter-attacking knock at a time when all hope seemed lost. I mean, you were 8 down at that point in time. He was playing essentially with tail-enders, and that's the extent of it. And again, I think it's becoming a systemic, emblematic problem when it comes to Indian cricket. You're playing with fear, first and foremost. I mean, look, no one had you pegged as bang-on favourites after seeing the total.
Yeah.
Because it had never been chased down in the history of Under-19 World Cups before. The least you could have done was play with a little bit of freedom, look to be a little more fearless. Then you would have probably, maybe got the same number of runs, but at least you would have lost respectfully. This, on the other hand, little hard to stomach, and I'll be honest, I do not consider age-level sport, whether that be any sport, to be the big marker of anything. Yeah. It's not. It never is. In fact, India right down there when it comes to the amount of talent turnover that comes from under-19 cricket.
So, but I'll just explain this point that Shane, I was just sent this special attachment by a dear family member, Austin Kuna, who keeps on encouraging us with all his statistics that is there. Okay.
Also causes storms elsewhere in the world.
Oh yeah, Austin Kuna, you've gone viral for one particular reason. So, look, if you have to look at the transition from under 19 to the senior level, India's percentage, only 27% of players make it to the senior
Which
level.
is no surprise when you think about it. Why? Because in the year 2024, these are the 15 best cricketers you could select.
Yep.
The sad reality is that in India, the talent pool is huge. Which means that a lot of players will find peaks later in their careers.
Yep.
Some, if they catch fire early on, will generally be fast-tracked into the senior team.
Yes.
But many will always take their time. Now, because that happens, and in fact, you've seen it happen with a lot of players, they've had good under-19 World Cups, then struggle in the domestic circuit because they're not able to make that step up. As I've always said, the step up from age level to senior cricket, no matter whether it be domestic, whether it be IPL, is a whole different kettle of fish. And in fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember going through that graphic as well, and the top 3, the big three,
yes,
are right down there at the bottom. The only nation lower than them in that is South Africa, who have problems of their own. Yeah. That's a whole different matter. But what it goes to show you is that success at this level means precious little.
Is it any coincidence that teams who are outside of the periphery of the big 3, barring South Africa, which you said has got problems that they've made it up on their own, it's Afghanistan, it's West Indies, it's Bangladesh.
Bangladesh I think topped the list.
Yes. Is it any surprise then? But there is this stat also hides a very misleading thing also.
Which is?
The batch that won 2020, Shariful is there. But your World Cup winning captain isn't there.
Exactly.
Akbar Ali won the Under-19 World Cup at that time. So, it's a different thing altogether. See, if India would have won the World Cup, which they were the favourites to do so.
Let's be honest.
we would have been having the same kind of thing with the same pinch of salt that we had.
Yeah, because I was saying it in the pre-game. Do not make this about revenge.
Yes.
Do not make this about the boys representing the nation. It's age level.
Yeah.
Age level comes with a very big caveat in the sense that it is exactly that age level. The step from age level to senior sport in every sport really, not just cricket. It could be cricket, it could be football. I've seen a lot of, even in motorsport, you'll have a lot of people who do very well in the juniors, but when it comes to making that transition, they struggle. Sports like tennis, badminton, all racket sports, people who do well in the juniors, it's not a slam dunk guarantee that they're going to do well at the senior level. It's just not how it works. It's an imperfect science. So if you'd have won it, yeah, great. Celebrate the boys. They've done well. But even if they've not won it, it's not the end of the world for many of them. I mean, even if you're looking at, we're talking about the players who come through. 2020, the players didn't win it, and that was an upset loss because they lost to Bangladesh of all teams. But even from that batch, you've seen Yashasvi Jaiswal graduate to the ranks. You've seen Ravi Bishnoi. Dhruv Jurel is now on the cusp of making a debut sometime or the other. Let's be frank. So you have gotten players even from there. You've gotten players from 2016 when you lost in the final again to a West Indies side. You've Rishabh Pant made it through the ranks over there. Ishan Kishan made it through the ranks from over there. Washington Sundar came through the ranks from over there. So Avesh Khan. So you've always had it. The talent pool is always there. But conversely, you've also seen what Siddharth's talking about of Akbar Ali. I mean, you had a Prithvi Shaw who's again had problems of admittedly his own making. He's nowhere.
Harvik Desai.
I'm talking about captains. I'm talking purely about captains. Who was the captain of 2012? Unmukh Chand. Who was the captain in 2020? That itself is a trivia question for many.
Exactly.
Who was the captain in 2020?
It was Prithvi Shaw.
No, 2020.
2020, Yashasvi.
Yashasvi was not the captain.
It was Dhruv Jurel.
Exactly.
Dhruv Jurel was the captain.
Was Dhruv Jurel? Are you sure? Yeah, I think
mostly it was Dhruv Jurel.
Yeah, no, we can always check that.
So 2012, I always state that 2012 is a very cautious tale that success does not guarantee you international representation. Who among the others, in 2012 decided that we'll do it big in the international circuit? Only one went through, and that was not all formats also. It was Hanuma Vihari. Hanuma Vihari was
It was Priyam Garg.
Exactly.
That's what,
Dhruv Jurel was the vice captain.
Yeah,
Again,
Priyam Garg.
Priyam Garg. Where has Priyam Garg's career gone? 2022 it was Yash Dhul. Where is Yash Dhul's career gone? My point
Raj Hangargekar, Raj Angad Bawa, all those guys.
Hangargekar has won an IPL.
In CSK. Yep. Age cricket, under 19 cricket World Cup. You have to take it with a pinch of salt. And why did we start this entire hyping? Because of 2008. In 2008, certain big stars won it, and you were winning it consistently from 2012, 2018, 2022, and that is the reason why.
I mean, if you're looking at it, see that 2008 batch obviously gave you Kohli. And Kohli,
Jadeja.
and no, I'm talking about why I'm saying Kohli in particular is because Kohli not only ended up becoming a captain, a rarity in itself, by the way, that an under 19 captain goes on to become the captain of the senior team. How many have done it?
No one.
Exactly.
Mohammad Kaif never became the captain.
Kaif never came close to sniffing captaincy. Hell, he was captaining Yuvraj Singh, and Yuvraj Singh came closer to sniffing captaincy at the senior level. Dinesh Mongia had captained India at the under 19 level, never came close to the international level, senior level. Otherwise, also, if you look at it, Prithvi Shaw is nowhere near making the side. Never mind being captain.
I think Rishabh Pant was the captain.
No, it was Ishan Kishan.
Rishabh Pant was the vice captain.
Pant was the vice captain. Ishan Kishan was the captain. That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter. Great age level cricket is never an indication of anything. Priyam Garg right now, does he have an IPL franchise? Last I remember he was at Sunrisers.
Shifted out.
Yeah, I think he was unsold this time.
Exactly, that's my point. It is a brutal step up.
2018 still was a batch from where fairly a lot of players actually came out.
I mean, if you count IPL as well, then sure, because you've had Shaw Gill, Nagarkoti Mavi, Arshdeep,
Riyan Parag,
Ishan Purel,
Arshdeep.
Arshdeep counted.
Your batch of 2000
Kartik Tyagi.
Kartik Tyagi
was 2020.
Kartik Tyagi, we forgot. So, your 2000 batch was legendary. Along with 2008. Because 2000, you had Mohammad Kaif, you had Yuvraj Singh, you had Harbhajan Singh, you had Virendra Sehwag.
4 certified bona fide legends. So 2008, of course, you had Kohli, you had Jaddu.
But that New Zealand
You had
team were
Manish
much.
Pandey also in 2008.
Man,
right?
You
poor
had
guy.
Shalabh Srivastav, you had Tarwar Kohli,
Siddharth Kaul.
It's a call, yes.
But the New Zealand team
Saurav Tiwari.
were even legendary because you
Kane
had a
Williamson,
Bolt,
Trent Bolt.
Tim Southee, Corey Anderson, these four.
Kane, yeah.
Kane was the guy, man. But then, okay, coming back to this.
But no,
game.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. That out of this India, I know that we have lost the match, but what I'm trying to, what I was getting to was that, like, always you know that there is this next big thing who's coming. 2020, you knew a Yashasvi Jaiswal. 2018, you knew a Shubman Gill. Last time, somewhat you know Yash Dul, who somewhat I still feel is somewhere there, who's he has also gotten the opportunity to captain the state side, is performing decently well in the domestic circuit, also has an IPL franchisee. This time around, whom do you think is that one player who had that hype? Coming into the tournament, we had Arshin Kulkarni, about whom we were just talking.
But I would say Mushir Khan.
Yeah, Mushir, I think, is someone who got more hype as the tournament went on. He got those back-to-back centuries, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Plus, of course, the familial connection with the Sarfaraz, someone who's definitely
Plus,
in the...
even more important, Mumbai circuit.
Yeah.
Mumbai circuit. That is why.
Also batsman who can bowl.
Also batsmen who can bowl. So that's why. See, now the brothers are in the same boat. Elder brother never won the Under-19 World Cup. Neither has the younger brother. So, see, you have to understand one thing when it comes to the Under-19 setup. Okay. They have a good run. I mean, even the 2020 batch. They won the Asia Cup and then they came and reached the final. At least with 2020... or even in 2016 when they lost the finals 2 times, they at least put up a fight.
Yeah.
Here the fight was missing. And what was the similar thing yet again? Australia's discipline in the final, which went missing for them in 2012 and 2018. But under Hugh Wagan, somewhere down the line, they seem to have found that discipline. And again that stat. From over number 11 to over number 40 in the 2023 World Cup, only 4 boundaries were hit. From over number 1 to over number 30, just 10 fours and 2 sixes were hit, which means they had a boundary in just 12 out of the 180 balls.
I mean, they were approaching the halfway mark of the innings, 25, and you hadn't even brought up the 100. You were 89 or so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
It just told you how into their shell the players were, because it wasn't a big total, okay? Going by modern day standards, and you have to remember, a lot of these guys, they're all kids. They are pretty much, they've grown up in the T20 era.
Yep.
They've grown up as the IPL generation. If they're 19 now, it means they were born post 2000. Feel old yet?
Yeah.
So they definitely have grown up on a diet, a steady drip of T20 cricket. 250 is not a big total by any stretch of the imagination. What happened? Froze. Again.
Sachin Das was just 3.5 years old when the IPL happened.
Exactly.
This is the batch. And all the batches that are there, 2022 and 2020, all have been brought up on a steady diet of IPL. Okay. But it is not helping you developmentally. Look at how, I will say, right from 2020 onwards, okay. India has lost in the final of the Women's T20 World Cup final to Australia. No surprises there.
None whatsoever.
2022, you lost in the league stage to Australia in the Women's World Cup in Auckland. 2023, okay, and here's the nightmare list. 2023,
you lost Commonwealth also.
You lost Commonwealth final in
22.
22. You lost you lost the 2023 women's semi-final, the T20 World Cup in South Africa. You lost the WTC. You lost the World Cup. Now you lost even the Under-19 World Cup.
No wonder you like yellow so much.
I like yellow for a separate reason. He will know. I mean, it's all because of that one Brazilian great who's unfortunately not there with us in this world. But look, Australia, now what a year it's been for them. 2 years. What a great 2 years it's been for them.
I mean, you can even extend it further and say it started in 2021. Remember, they won
The
a World
World
Cup.
T20. Man, oh man, when you look at ICC.
Because they won a World Cup that year. Then in the 21-22 season, they retained the Ashes comprehensively.
Yeah.
4-0.
4-0.
Despite that it cost Justin Langer's job.
Yeah,
but that's a different
England
story.
just survived by 3 balls in Sydney. They would have been a final.
It would have been a 5-0 whitewash. It was that close. Then from there, what happens? They retain the Ashes, World Test Championship, World Cup, and now you're getting success in the Under-19. And you know that old saying goes that nothing breeds success like success.
Yep. And look at At the same time, your senior team have beaten the West Indies in a T20 series. Maxwell hitting a 5th century there. Your women's team have also beaten South Africa. Look at the scope of dominance. The Southern Stars, I admit that they are the greatest sporting entity on this planet, on par maybe with the Chicago Bulls of the NBA or the All Blacks or the Springboks in rugby. They are the greatest sporting entity ever.
But
better than Ponting, better than the Australian men's team.
But a lot of that, comes down to mentality. You know, even if Australia had not won the Under-19 World Cup, the general public would not have cared a hoot.
Yep.
It
They would have
doesn't
just
make a
moved
difference.
ahead.
They would have said, okay, good, the boys did their best, they reached, the final. Now, their real test comes when they start making taking those steps in domestic cricket.
Yeah.
Their club cricket, the Sheffield Shield,
Marsh
Cup, then potentially impressing enough to make it to the Big
BBL.
Bash League, then the journey to senior caps. That is always how it's been. It's been a pretty straightforward system. They don't give that much of importance to an under-19. Neither do England.
Well,
England have won one title.
Yes, that's
one title.
And despite not giving it that much of importance, they won 4.
Yeah.
1988, 2002, 2010 and now 2024. First time in the 21st century that Australia has beaten India. Can you believe it? First time in the 21st century.
In the under-19.
In the under-19 World Cup.
And see, again, I always say this, that you don't need to be putting extra pressure on these players for one very simple reason. In 1 or 2 years' time, will an under-19 World Cup title matter?
No.
It doesn't.
It won't matter.
Most people have forgotten that you won the World Cup in 2022. It doesn't register beyond a certain point because, again, the real question or the real benchmark for success is how many of those players can then go on to have successful careers at senior level. And I'm not even counting international senior level boss. Have a good domestic career.
Yeah.
Be an IPL legend. Do something.
Yeah.
See,
I was
if
reading this today that out of the last batch 2022, only 2 players are playing domestic cricket at this point. Just Yash Dul and
Rajam Gargekar.
Nishant Sandhu.
Nishant Sindhu.
Yeah.
Hunger
Two batters.
Hunger Gekar, I think, is playing domestic cricket.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the top order batters. There are only
Yeah.
2 people, Nishant Sandhu and Yashdul, who are playing domestic cricket. Apart from that, you have Kaushal Tambe, Hunger Kekar, Rajan Angad Bawa also to start with did play.
For Punjab, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
Punjab. Yeah. See, every ICC event, whoever has won it has produced some stars. Okay. In 2014, South Africa, if you look at it, they won the title for the first time. It gave you an Aiden Markram and a Kagiso Rabada. Okay. When you look at even 2016, the 2016 batch, if you look at it, Alzari Joseph, he came out of that.
Paul,
Shimron Hetmeyer. But again,
came out
Hetmeyer
of
and
that.
Kimo Paul have drifted away. It's only Alzari who's kind of carrying the torch.
Hetmeyer is still there.
Hetmeyer could be a top level operator for West Indies, but I think he's taken the freelance route, which fair enough.
And okay, whoever has lost even the final, whoever's lost the final, if I have to look at 2012, for Australia, a certain guy who hurt us in 2023, Travis Head. Head came out of that. Curtis Patterson, because there's so much of brilliance in that, there's no place for Curtis Patterson. And the captain of Australia, Will Bushisto, he's gone. He averaged only 20 odd in domestic cricket for Western Australia. 2010, you had Mitchell Marsh and Josh Hazelwood. But Pakistan, who they lost, who did they unearth? Babar Azam. Babar Azam was there at that time. So, victors and losers both gain certain players. But in the case of India,
You've
or the
taken out
subcontinent
more
teams.
players when you've actually lost.
yes,
Yeah, 16.
You got 3, you got 4 players.
Rishabh Pant, Avesh Khan, Ishan Kishan,
Washington Sundar. Okay.
Who else was there? I think there was one other person.
Which was the year that the likes of Shreyas Iyer and KL
14.
Rahul were playing?
14, that was
Again?
But KL was 2010.
Oh, okay.
KL was 2010 along with Mayank Agrawal.
Then you lost in 2020.
14
you had Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yeah, 14 you had Shreyas Iyer, you had Sanju Samson and Kuldeep Yadav.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then in 2020 when you lost, you had Yashasvi Jaiswal,
Ravi
Kartik
Bishnoi,
Tyagi, Ravi Bishnoi,
Dhruv Jurel.
Yeah, 4. So you're expecting 4 more from here.
4 more, but then I don't see that happening because
See,
an under 19 World Cup, I honestly am telling you, should be 4 years. It can't be 2 years.
2 years?
No, I think
No, I'll tell you why. Among all these guys, who's going to get a slot in the Indian cricket team?
No one.
No, it's too soon to see, but as of now, if
That's
anyone...
the problem. That is the problem. Before 2024, they are in remote location wait list when it comes to slots. How will you accommodate 2022?
No, the problem here is with having it every 4 years is that players who aren't able to make it once, like right now the rule is that you can play only one World Cup. So if you play it at 17, then you can't play it at 19.
But that rule is applicable, by the way, only to India.
Yeah.
The rule is not an ICC rule, which is why I do agree with Siddharth. I think you make it 4 years and you make it a point that every year you have fresh squads. No player who was playing last year can play this time around. Make it 4 years.
No, but
why?
the problem there is that see, if I'm an under 19 boy and I'm playing cricket at this point and I don't like, I am getting to my peak when I'm approximately 18ish, 19ish, and the World Cup is 3-4 years away from that time. Then the problem is that I'm not getting that opportunity to represent my country at the age group of 19.
Fair. Then I still say that
That's why
keep it
for
2
that,
years.
it's for the development of the whole purpose of the under 19 World Cup is for the development of
fair,
You
but
know
then
what is
long
happening.
run.
You know what is happening. Supposing this is under 19, we agree the World Cup is your feeder system for your domestic setups. Potentially, okay.
It's more for the development.
Your
more than the
domestic
feeder system.
setup, okay, is like you got a 2-inch pipe.
Yeah.
But then you are feeding water into that pipe, which is about 8-10 inches. It will overspill and then it will be wasted. The trickle that will come from that is just not going to be seen. Your main aim is what?
But
your society is the Indian cricket
that
team.
you're talking about this problem of plenty there then.
We do have a problem.
Yeah, we
That's
do
why
have
you won 5 titles.
But the problem then on the other side of the story is that then the problem is that many people might just stop playing also once they know that I know that I'm 17 today, I'm not able to play this World Cup because I'm 17. The next World Cup is after 4 years, I'll be 22 by then. So I know at this age of 17 that I'm not able to play the under 19 World Cup, so I'll stop playing as a player. But when I know that it's coming back in another 2 years, I'll have another opportunity. I'll continue to play. That's basically the reason of having an under 19 World Cup every 2 years.
Because you know what will that solve? You know what that will solve? The broader picture is it may solve your Scrooge of age fudging. I'll tell you why. Because you've seen so many players in India. Why did Rahul Dravid say that age fudging is an existential crisis for Indian cricket?
Yeah.
He said that. And coming from Rahul Dravid, who's worked in the grassroots for so many years, you have to take that as a threat. Unfortunately, your 2018 World Cup winning batch, one person unfortunately fell victim for that.
He fell foul. I wouldn't say victim. He knew what he was doing.
He fell foul for it. Okay, but we are just
never
saying.
know. Because the court actually released him, so
Exactly.
we can't actually say that.
If you keep a World Cup after every 4 years, like what it is, you have time to build your domestic setup, because every World Cup onwards a side goes into transition. Then you could potentially fill in those gaps through the under 19 World Cup.
No, I think age fudging would increase with that because I'm giving because of the same reason that I just told you of 17 and 19, that 2 year span. I'd have two options. Either I'll stop playing because I know I've not made it to the age group under 19 India side. So I have the option of actually stop playing because I know maybe in my head I have not reached where I should reach at this point. So it's better to choose some other career path. Or second option is that I'm 22, I'll try to be under 19 because of age fudging, and then because with this 2 year system, I think it's age fudging would get reduced.
No, fair points both sides.
Yeah, I do agree that age fudging might not stop.
Yeah,
I agree
it
with
would
that.
Fair points on both sides, but what I think needs to be done is you need to de-emphasize the amount of importance you give to an under 19 World Cup.
See,
As I've always said, it does not matter that much in the grand scheme of things. It just doesn't.
I still feel that it's not being given that much of importance. We sitting outside as journalists or as
I've seen how fans are.
Yeah, fans do give it, but I don't think in the larger perspective it's being given that much. I'll tell you why. I remember the under 19 World Cup 2018, where I remember Rishabh Pant and Ishan Kishan going for
16,
going for 3-3 and 4-4 CRs. More reason for that, I think, at that point was because of the T20 ability. Someone like Rishabh Pant, I still remember the same day he was bought in the auction by Delhi.
He went and slam bang.
Yeah, he hit the fastest
50
under 19 history, and then he was bought. So I don't think that I remember last time also Yash Dul, he was having a dream run in the Under-19 World Cup. He was scoring tons after tons. Even after being out of COVID, then he returned and then he still was sold for just 1 CR-ish. So I don't think the franchisees bank on so much on Under-19 cricket. Again, an Arshan Kulkarni here, I don't think has gone in the IPL and has been bought because of the reason that he's done well in the Under-19 circuit. It's more because of his T20 abilities, which we were just talking about.
In the MPL,
Maharashtra. He has a strike rate of 162 there. So a very big reason for him getting picked there is that also. Aravali Avinash, another example, has been bought by Chennai Super Kings.
Yeah. Aravali Avinash. I think Murugan Abhishek Perumal. No, I think
no. Just 2 players.
Yeah, just 2. Yeah. But again, we are giving importance to the Under-19 and why we are touting it as a revenge. By the way, yes, Saran, the captain, also said we are not thinking on those.
No,
it's
not at all.
We are giving importance that, let us hold on to straws in the Under-19 World Cup. Correct. Because your senior team has not managed to win anything for 10 years. In an ICC event I'm talking about. Bilaterals, you have been giants. You have been greats. You are like the South Africa of the late 90s and the early 2000s. Bilateral super giants, but in an ICC event, you freeze. And this is what this Indian cricket team has. It has frozen.
That's the big worry, is that now that syndrome which is haunting your senior sides, trickling down to the lower sides.
No, but I still don't agree with that because again, we saw the same team being 4 down in the semi-final and then making a huge comeback from there. And actually, I saw that maturity and I see that maturity a lot in someone like Uday Saran. Hasn't played domestic cricket, wasn't picked by the IPL franchises, did not have that reputation coming into the World Cup. Nobody knew about him much, as you know about other captains who tend to become captains of the Under-19 side. But I see something in that X factor in them that I think he is that, if we call it so, lambi race ka ghoda.
Okay. You got lucky against South Africa. I'll tell you why. Okay, you won. Okay, fair credit, you won. But then you faced a team that also has a similar baggage of choking.
Yeah.
When you managed to ensure that you played out an Amfaka, after that, the rest of the bowling was really pedestrian.
He's also the man of the tournament though.
Had to be. I mean, what skill. Left-hander bowling at 140 clicks, getting the ball to swing with extra bounce.
Accurate bounces, and not just that, he had everything a fast bowler requires in the book. He had the slower one, perfect execution to the slower one. It wasn't like at Under-19 we've seen a lot of players. I remember talking about this when India played the semi-final also, that he has everything. It's not just that he has raw pace, that he's just nailing bouncer or yorkers. He had the slower ball when required. What he got Sachin Das out on. So he had everything. So just thinking on the feet, trying to execute his plans, having different plans for batters. So I think he is someone whom I would personally think that is ready for the biggest stage.
I mean, look at it. South Africa has not produced that many left-arm pacers. I mean, you look at it. Brett Schultz in the 90s, he was one. Then you had a Lonwabo Satsobe who did that. Then you also had a Buren Hendricks. But Satsobe and Hendricks did not have pace. They were 130-ish kind of.
They were more swing bowlers than...
Yeah.
Even now, if you look at a Marco Jansen, he's hardly pacey. He's more on...
Yeah. His extra bounce because of the height. Marco Jansen, I mean, he got a 5-wicket haul.
Wasn't even he in the Under-19 World Cup?
Marco Jansen was in the Under-19 World Cup. I think it was
18.
in... No. I think it was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, even I think it was in 2020.
He's 24
Very
now.
recently.
So. Yeah, he was there in the Under-19 World Cup of 2020, if I'm not mistaken. But Jansen, Rabada was 2014.
Yeah.
So, look at all of them. Left-handers, Mufaka coming in.
He'd be an X factor if he can make it to the senior level.
I think he would make it sooner or later.
But most of the X factors again in the Under-19 World Cup have not made it to the international circuit. I mean, you look at it. Look at 2022. Where is Devold Brevis in this lineup for South Africa?
Yeah.
There is no Devold Brevis yet. You had
Tristan Stubbs.
Stubbs, okay, is making waves in the domestic circuit in the SA20. Stubbs is doing that.
Yeah.
Sri Lanka has not given that many chances to Dunik Vellalage. Vellalage was a good batter and a good bowler in the Under-19 World Cup 2022.
We saw that in the Asia Cup.
But Vellalage has not had a good run, and neither is he going to be picked for a long time now because of Sri Lanka's open door policy now. Look at Pakistan for that matter. In all the matches, in all the previous editions, which Pakistani player has broken through into the setup?
Babar Rizwan.
Babar Rizwan
Babar was 2010. Shaheen probably would have broken.
Shaheen is the only one.
Maybe it was 18 Shaheen.
Imad Wasim did.
Imamul Haq.
Imamul Haq.
Imamul Haq in 2012. He had a very good run in 2012. Except that game against India, as always.
No, but then, boy, I also agree that Tilak Verma did not make the cut for the under-19 World
Oh no,
Cup.
Tilak was there in 2020.
Wasn't he eligible for
22, sorry, I think.
At 22, he was there. He was there.
He was there.
Did he-
Tilak, I think, was there in 22.
Yeah,
if I'm
you're
not
right.
mistaken.
Tilak was there in 22.
Yeah, I mean, I forget that. Oof.
And Tilak Verma.
And Tilak Verma. So,
But he wasn't a regular, if I'm not wrong.
No, I think he played.
I think he must have. So, again, look at 2 years what has happened for you. You've lost all ICC events and you're based, your mindset now is that, oh please, let the under-19 guys win.
At
Let
least
them win.
something will win.
But
You didn't?
if you encounter yellow, you freeze.
As always.
Snow doesn't freeze you, yellow color freezes you. And that is why Australia are your ultimate nightmare team. Is it any coincidence that India senior, the only negative head-to-head record that they have in the World Cups is only against Australia? Is it any coincidence that in tests, India, most of their negative records is against Australia? There is a reason. Although they have won more against Australia also, 32 wins as compared to 43 losses. But still, under-19 World Cup, finally Australia have ended the jinx after 26 years. 26 years, and winning after 14 years, the cup has ended its vanvas to Australia. It's back. So let's take some comments now. Another day, another final. The
Another
nightmare
loss
continues
to
for
India.
India. So let's see how our family members are taking this loss, because
I don't think very well.
they will not be happy in that sense. Okay, Satish B, I knew that he will say. AUS officially once India thrashed 4 times in span of 1 year. AUS senior team, WTC, WC, women's T20 and WC. Now this AUS greatest cricketing nation just bowed down. Satish B, I cannot disagree with you.
There's
I
not
mean,
much to disagree there.
they are officially the greatest cricketing nation on this planet. Let us make no bones about it. I mean, before India were winning, India has not won a series in South Africa. Only 2 nations have won bilateral series tournaments everywhere on the planet, and that is Australia and South Africa. India hasn't won in South Africa test matches. England hasn't won in Zimbabwe. Shock horror. They haven't won there at all. But the women's team, they have won everywhere.
Correct.
The men's team have won everywhere. BGT, India is winning 2 now. Australia won 3 times before this. So that's why, I mean, they are, Satish B, I do agree. No disagreements on that. Australia are the greatest sporting nation on this planet. Pat Cummins, Alyssa Healy, Meg Lanning, you name them, and then also Hugh Wagan. In the space of 2 years, these 3 legendary captains.
Do you see Mafaka getting an IPL buyer?
No, not yet. Too early.
No?
Maybe
Too
2025?
Too early. It'll take at least a year or 2 for him to
Why?
that
Why?
happen.
What would be the reason?
Why would I mean? Most IPL teams are reticent to bet on young Indian talent. You're not going to
normal
bet
comments.
someone like a Shamar Joseph,
But
who's
you
a different
saw
matter.
Brevis getting a buyer last time.
Yeah, Brevis did, baby, which it did not surprise me.
Yeah. Oh God, GGK. Our under-19 team, a better team on paper. We are the actual champions.
And he's quoting a certain...
Mohammad Kaif.
Yeah.
I mean, that, I am very sorry. I mean, I respect Mohammad Kaif as a player, as a brilliant fielder, gritty batter. But that comment, I mean, I am sorry. I mean, whatever context, whatever facts you want to put at it, boss, India may have won more games. Agreed. India reached the final unbeaten. Agreed.
Even Australia was unbeaten.
No, I am talking
This
about a
time,
2023 World Cup, where the famous paper World Cup comment came. But you lost.
Priyanshu says only 2 Indians have knocked out Australia in ICC events. Virat in Mohali 2016, Yuvraj in 2007 T20 World Cup. I'll add Yuvraj in 2011. He also knocked out Australia, the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
But again, he's right. Only 2 cricketers, only 2 Indian cricketers.
That is why, if you win against Australia, you have to actually cherish it. Because not many teams can beat Australia or consider. Ask England. How much they have tried. They have changed their entire culture. Yet they can't beat Australia. And if I have to talk about, you're talking about the greatness. Just factor this one thing, Shane. Hazelwood, Stark, Cummins have never lost the Ashes. Ever since they came as a foursome, even Nathan Lyon. They have never lost the Ashes. 2017 onwards. The last time they lost it was 2015.
Correct.
At that time, not many were. There was a Siddle, there was a Johnson, but when these four have come as a quartet, they have been unstoppable.
Exactly.
Any other comments here? Let's just
Rookie Techie says when they lost the Asia Cup semis, I knew that they cannot defend the World Cup title. Where are the fast bowlers who can bowl 4-5 overs with new ball except Limbani? All average players except for 2 or 3 poor selection. See,
Rookie Techie does echo the point that Shashwat made. I mean, Shashwat.
where are your pace bowlers?
Where are your pace? I mean, Limbani is the only. He got pace, he got bounce.
Limbani has also gotten wickets this game. Till now, he was just at 9 wickets after 6.
But today you lack the support. There was no Naman Tiwari who stepped up. There wasn't, if you look at it, the others who could step up. So
You did not even bowl your other fast bowlers. You had Arshan Kulkarni in a part-time. Arshan Kulkarni with the kind of hype he came did not. I think again, a very good opportunity was wasted by a lot of these youngsters in the final, because today again, like we were talking about this in the pre-match show, that today doesn't matter what you have done all throughout the tournament, do well today and you'll just be the next big thing in Indian cricket. And you know how if we talk about the fact that we take under 19 cricket too important, we give it too much importance, then today should have been the day.
Exactly.
Ashish Dhar is asking me, we all can chip in. I think we'll take the last 2 comments and then we'll call it quits. Why do you think we are a scared nation? Why players are playing with fear? Are we fans and media going ahead of the game? Did we underestimate Australia in the 2023 World Cup? I don't see India win any World Cup. I'll take line by line. I don't see India win any World Cup. Perhaps they can win one. Perhaps in the next 2 years, maybe they can win one ICC event. I won't say World Cup, one ICC event.
2025 Champions Trophy.
Or maybe even 2024. Let's see. Yeah, I know it is a big task that they may not. Okay. Did we underestimate Australia in 2023 World Cup? If we did underestimate them,
no. You didn't underestimate them. You gave them too much respect, which made you change your conditions.
Yeah.
And then you ended up falling into your own hole.
I don't think it's about the whole mind. You respected them. You wanted double insurance.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's about actually how it actually plays in your head. It's about the big day. How do you feel on the big day? And it's
how you approach it.
It's the cultural thing that you wake up thinking I feel like an Australian side would have woken up with the normal thought process they have before every game. I think that's the cultural difference in India, that players today, someone like this Haran Mushir, would have woken up thinking about the fact that it's the big
final
day.
Final.
Yeah. But again, Australia bucked the trend. They lost 2 finals in the past by batting first, but they back their original cultural template, which is bat first, scoreboard pressure, let's see you step up. That's the way. Satish B, thoughts on Fraser McGurk, Jake Fraser McGurk, will he make it to the test team? I hope so. I am
very good talent.
Mighty impressed with Jake Fraser McGurk. I mean, the shots that he was hitting, oof. Sight. And again, he's from the 2020 batch, Jake Fraser McGurk. And if he does make it, if he's an explosive opener in the Sehwag mold, test cricket.
Then you've got David Warner's replacement ready.
Yes. You're going to play McGurk ball then, if that's the case, rather than Bass ball. But then I'm very impressed with him. Yes.
All right.
Last comment, Tanmay Joshi. Let's not include Australia women. It is an upset if Australia women's team loses to any team in ICC event.
He's right. He's right. Very true.
The only team that did beat you, by the way, was Harmanpreet Kaur's India in 2017. And you lost to India even in 2020.
To Australia.
Yeah, but then you lost to them in the final. That's the situation. But yeah, they are an alpha team, an alpha country. And not just cricket, in all sports, be it hockey, be it Olympic sports, they do push their weight around. And they are the greatest team in that. So with that, one more ICC event ends in disappointment for India.
Although again, age group, so...
Yeah. So now you've got no straws also to cling on to, Indian fans.
Wait. You've ended baseball.
Yeah. You haven't yet.
I am being sarcastic.
Yeah,
I'm being sarcastic.
You're
not.
baseball.
No, you will not. There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
Even if they lose 3-2, that's better than what other England teams would have done.
And I wouldn't be happy with that result.
No.
Honestly, I wouldn't.
I mean, 2 losses on Indian soil.
The only way you can claim to definitively end baseball is if you win the Test series 4-1.
Yeah.
That's the only way.
Do
you see that happening?
Tough.
I don't know.
I don't know. So,
anyway.
Yep, 4th title for Australia. And I may be right, Shane, if I say the Under-19 World Cup is like the Euros when it comes to defending champions.
You don't get defending champions in a hurry.
Yeah. Euros, only one team has ever
Spain.
defended. Spain, 2008 and 2012. Here, only Pakistan,
4 and
2004 and
6.
6. Yes. So from me, Sher and Shashwat, it's bye-bye. You have to go. The day carries on as always.
But again, fresh week starts this week, and there's anticipation, excitement. There's a test match coming.
Yep.
Plenty of stuff there. So, see you then.
See you. Bye-bye. Nandri
Good
from
night.
all of us. And thank you so much for joining us, folks. Tap that bell icon so when we go live.